And to take a look at some of our top stories for this Tuesday morning. China has said that it will go ahead and supply weapons to the enemies of the United States if, in fact, the United States proceeds to arm Taiwan. This, of course, part of something that goes all the way back to 1979 when President Carter basically said we are no longer going to recognize Taiwan as its own country, but as part of China. Part of an attempt, of course, to ameliorate the relationships between China and the United States through the world's biggest economies, the biggest militaries, and with Taiwan being such a central piece of that, having President-elect Trump come along and call and talk with the leaders of Taiwan and talk about how the one China policy may be up for debate. Well, that has Chinese experts saying, well, we're going to see our weapons going to United States enemies. And, of course, everybody's all up in arms about that. The latest CIA report that Russia was involved in hacking the Democratic National Committee in order to help Donald Trump get elected. Well, Donald Trump has condemned it, mocking it on Twitter, and now the world is saying, well, what if it's true? Russian hackers, meanwhile, apparently may be threatening the election in Germany right now, according to members of parliament inside Germany. Meanwhile, the issue with Russia is also very tense right now as they continue to support one side of the fighting in Syria and the United States is supporting the other side. In fact, the Russian Defense Ministry just came out and said yesterday that the attack on Palmyra shows that terrorists shouldn't be given a break anywhere at any time. Part of this over negotiations about having a ceasefire around Aleppo to allow civilians to get out. Russia saying we don't want to because it's going to allow the terrorists to get out. And then they point to what happened in Palmyra just over the weekend where this ancient city has been retaken by the extremists once again. Also, the economic ministry for Russia suspects that oil prices will be somewhere between $52 and $53 per barrel for the month of December after these oil cuts that have been agreed upon by OPEC and 11 other nations go into effect. More special forces heading to Syria, this time from Chechnya, some of the same forces that fought in the Georgian breakaway republic and the fighting there several years ago. Now they've been reflagged. They've been given the uniforms of military police, and they are headed to Syria right now. Also, the proposals to declare a pause in hostilities in Aleppo, still an object of contention, with Lavrov saying that it's leading up a, quote, blind alley. All of this happening while Donald Trump's advisor is in Moscow for what they're calling a series of long and profound negotiations. Lavrov also made some comments about how Russia wants the United States to comply with the Montreux Convention. This is something that goes all the way back to the 1930s when Turkey was officially given control of the Dardanelles, and it opened up all the civilian traffic, make it free traffic in between the Mediterranean and the Black Sea, but restricting naval ships, specifically saying, look, if you're not a Black Sea nation, you're only allowed to stay in that area for 21 days. The United States has been saying, we want to stay there for 4 months. Russia's saying, yeah, no. A United States man spent over $1 million of money that he stole. I think he stole $4.7 million from his employer over a period of about 7 years. $1 million of that was spent on the Game of War app. He's just pleaded guilty to embezzlement. And a nuclear submarine that was originally started construction in 1955, served in the Soviet fleet until 1991, is going to be launched again, now as a museum of sorts. All of the references you'll find at my website, radiofreespeech.com. Please let me know what you think about what I'm doing here. Our commentary today focuses on survival skills for Alaskans and actually probably for everybody today on how to start a fire. I'll go over a couple of different ways that you can do it and my preferred method. And it's one of those things that you don't really think about that often until you're out there and something happens and you need a fire. I'll tell you the best way I know how to get this fire started every single time. And once again, tell all your friends, please become a subscriber and a supporter. You can do so through my link here to a Patreon. You can also do so by becoming a direct paying subscriber at my website, radiofreespeech.com. Thank you very much.